Welcome to another episode of the Talking Shop podcast, coming to you a day late and $1 short because of Memorial Day. I am Josh, the host with the most, along with John, the mystery man in the cage in the corner, along with Michael from at Medium Rare Cards, and It's Cobb is behind the scenes. Happy Tuesday. How are all of y'all? Not you, John. Pipe down.
Doing well. Had a good Memorial Day weekend. As you can see, I'm in a different spot.
You're in a dungeon.
I did this. I asked you how handy you were a couple weeks ago, Josh, and you said that you refused to paint, so I didn't ask you to come and help. But you could see
good answer and good decision.
In a new office, painted it. Got to figure out the lighting and the sound, so excuse any sort of graininess because of lack of lighting or echoing, because there's just literally nothing else in this room except cards and a set of
cards and a guitar.
That's right, and a guitar. How was your Memorial Day? Do you do anything special for Memorial Day?
I worked all day. I came home. I grilled a burger by myself out on the grill to eat by myself, only because my wife does the work of multiple people. She took care of all the kids all day, and then she was out running around Timbuktu and picking up Chick-fil-A for them and her. And so I said, well, I'm grilling myself a burger after I got off work. The store was busy. I never know, like, should we be open? I don't want to give up a day of business, and so people are off work and kids are out of school. Let's be open. And so, like, the first hour, it was ghost town, and I'm like, we may be closing early today. And then it got really busy, and the day was really busy. So I'm glad we were open. Every penny helps.
Before I do the rundown, I've got to ask, how do you grill just one burger?
Like, it's easy. Literally, you fire up the grill, you throw one patty
you have
on
gas
there.
grill. I could just imagine just getting the charcoals ready and then just one thing and go.
Nope. I love hamburgers. And so I often, if we don't have plans, I just fire up the gas grill up one burger and eat it.
Well, before I get into any more banter, just a quick rundown. We're going to start with the opening rip as we usually do. And we're going to talk about the NBA Finals. They are set. Not who I thought would be there, but we're going to talk about it just a little bit. Cover some nice products headed to the shop this week. We're going to jump behind the counter, talk about a little bit of a scam Josh brought to our attention. Talk about the national 55 days. Goes by quickly, so we do want to talk about that. We've got a couple listener questions, card from the vault, hits from the shop, and then finally, as usual, we end with crazy stat of the week. But before that, let's get into the opening rip. But before we start talking about the finals,
before you say this, let me interrupt you for a second. One thing I forgot last week, I teased it, and we never talked about it. The update on the shop's burglar, the break-in. I teased it, and I said, when we get to behind the counter, I'll give you the little inside info. And we never get. I had people message me saying, you never talked about what happened. So in this behind the counter, I'll give you a little update on our burglary from several months back. So
excellent. Looking forward to that.
What were you saying, though, before I cut you off?
Well, asked you if there's anything that you guys do for Memorial Day. My family, we try to watch like patriotic-ish movies, but Private Ryan,
like Die Hard.
Yeah. See, I think that's a Christmas movie. My wife would say otherwise, but like Saving Private Ryan, Fury, these things, kids don't like them. So we try to find movies with like a little bit of patriotic feel to it. So the going movies on Memorial Day for us have been Battleship, which surprisingly good movie, and then Battle Los Angeles, which are two alien movies.
Hey, they're protecting the country, right?
America.
I watched. I watched. Well, here's a movie. If you haven't seen, you all need to watch. It's called Sisu. Sisu. Have you heard of it?
Bless you. What?
Yep. Sisu. Uh, you won't regret it. Huge, high Rotten Tomatoes score.
Nice.
It's the end of World War II Nazi. Um, the premise is this old guy leave the war behind him. He was super bad A, and he's just out in the wasteland mining for gold, panning for gold. Hits the mother load of gold, loads up his horse, and he's basically walking across, occupied Poland or something, and the Nazis want to steal his gold from him, and it's super awesome. So, Sisu, if you need a good movie that you've maybe never heard of, there, Jacob pulls it up. There it is. Vengeance is golden.
On the list. Love it.
So, but I watched something. I feel like I watched something this weekend that I was like, that was really good, and I can't remember.
It's okay.
So that's my movie recommendation, Sisu.
Sisu. Well, if you were not watching movies like we were, some people were watching the Game 7 of the Heat Celtics. And man, I had written off the Celtics.
Sure.
I thought that they were done, DUN, done. And they come roaring back. They get me all involved again. And then I think it was the opening play. Tatum gets hobbled, ankle or something. And
I still want to say, even a Tatum at 100%, I watched a good bit of this game. The Celtics just could not get going, Even in the Heat couldn't get going at the beginning of it. They had scored 1 point through the first 2.5 minutes of the game. 1 point had been scored. Everybody was missing, but it just felt like the Heat were on and the Celtics were off, and there wasn't much that was going to change that. But you saw the stat probably. Everyone has seen the stat. Teams that have gone down 3-0 are 0 and 150. So it never had happened before coming back from 3-0. And so I really thought it was in Boston too. I really thought they could get it to Game 7. They were going to do it, but
I did too. But I was thinking, even if they had made it, they would have been spent. I mean, they wouldn't have had anything left in the tank for what looks like the eventual NBA champion in the Nuggets.
Especially if Tatum goes into a hobbled, even if they somehow escaped.
So, does anybody in the hobby care about these two teams, Josh? I mean,
it would be nice if Jokic could get some love, and maybe this will be the breaking point for the hobby. His stuff will start really. I know there's a market for it, and I know his stuff's just not dog poop, bottom of the barrel, but it's not crazy, and maybe this will help make him one of the premier chasers. Because you got to think, a good shot the Nuggets are going to win this. I remember thinking your team that you picked at the beginning of the year, you were 1 game away because you picked Celtics, right? I think I picked Warriors.
I did. It's for the Heat, for some reason, Jimmy Butler does not get a lot of love. Bam doesn't get a lot of love. I think the sexy hobby, we talk about sometimes the hobby crowns some guys. I think, Tyler Hero went out early, broke his hand, so he hasn't been playing. So the hobby's sort of forgotten about him. And then the only name that I've seen that the hobby has sort of gravitated to, and you can see it in his prices, is Jamal Murray. But other than that, other than people that live in Miami and people that live in Denver, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of buzz around this one.
Yeah.
I might just be projecting my own sort of thing here. I would really wanted Celtics Lakers, or even Celtics Warriors, but it's not going to happen. And, I don't know if I'll even tune into the highlights from here.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on it. I would like to see the Joker get himself a ring because he doesn't have one, right?
He does not. He does not, and I haven't watched a lot of him play, but apparently he's just awesome to watch. He's just super skilled,
Yeah.
and really makes everybody around him better. So it'll be interesting, Uh, I don't have a dog in this fight. I guess I think if I had to pick, I would want him to get his first ring and be
Yeah.
nice. So we'll see.
Yep. I'm the same way.
We'll see. All right, Josh, what's coming to the shelves at Grand Slam this week?
This is a good week. So, not on the release calendar. I just know we have some coming today or tomorrow. Donruss Optic Football Blasters, along with Donruss Optic Football Hobby. Both of that should be here tomorrow. 2023 Bowman Baseball Mega Box. So I think that's the first time they've done mega boxes for hobby. We'll have those. Impeccable Basketball, not a lot of it, but that's also tomorrow. And so that's Wednesday. Friday this should be a fun product. Bowman Chrome or Bowman University Chrome Basketball.
Nice.
That is the product that has Wembanyama's auto where he wrote on the card, my first card I've signed. I would imagine that'll be a fun chaser. And then Donruss Baseball, which has a little bit of a curveball this year to it. Are you familiar with this year's Donruss Baseball?
Tell me about this curveball.
There will be, let me not misquote it. In my opinion, it makes it less desirable. And I don't want to, I don't think it only has rookies and Hall of Famers. I don't think it has veteran players in it. Sound weird? What? I know it sounds weird. That was my reaction. I was like, I think you're probably wrong. Here's the product details. It says, while the player coverage has shifted away from current MLB stars, the long-running card brand continues with the 2023 Donruss Baseball. Look for an average of 3 hits per hobby box, including autographs and relics. So, rookies, prospects, and I think retired guys like Griffey, Warren Spahn, Pete Rose. I'm just looking at some of the samples here. So no Trout, no Ohtani, no Acuna. Correct me if I'm wrong. I had the same look on my face when someone told me as you do. I'm like, I don't think that's right. It says, per Panini, quote, Donruss Baseball returns in 2023 with a set full of top prospects, Hall of Fame players, and legends of the game. Don't ask me why. I don't have a reason why.
It's a licensing thing.
It would have to be because these are guys that are either prospects or not in the league anymore, right? I have stumped Michael.
Something strange is afoot at the Circle K. I
love it.
That is baffling to me why they would not put. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to do some research.
Yep,
that's fantastic. I do want to touch on the Bowman
Megas.
The Bowman Megas.
Okay.
Now, the chase there are these Mojo refractors coming out of the Megas, correct?
Okay. Fresh to the hobby. 2023 right. Bowman Mega Box breaks through with the top 100 base set and Chrome prospects. On the exclusive collector's favorite Mega Chrome pattern. Look for 4 base Chrome packs and 2 exclusive Mega Chrome packs per Mega Box.
Interesting.
Is that what you're maybe referring to? The Mega?
Yeah, it's that Mojo refractor, that look that usually comes out of the Mega Boxes. So, and what you're saying is this configuration usually was reserved for retail only, is coming to hobby, but this is not considered a hobby box, is it?
Correct. No, I think this is it doesn't say exclusive. I don't want to say it's exclusive to hobby shops, but maybe it is. But I know this was the first Mega Box I've ever been offered pre-sale through my distributor for allocated amount, which is new. So that means the price is good for a Mega Box. I think they're like $60. yeah, I'm excited about it. I think they
I
need
tell
to.
you, it's been, you know, since I got back into the hobby and really started paying attention to it. Um, this Bowman product has had a lot of hype to it. I think, it's a combination of Drew Jones and a couple of their top prospects, but I mean, for what you get out of Bowman, for what you're paying for it, you can't beat it.
Yeah, the potential. And I'm
Yeah,
sure
you
those
can't.
mega chrome patterns are going to be pretty sweet
Oh
looking
yeah,
too. They show a little example on the internet, but yep.
nice,
So if all goes well, I think that arrives tomorrow.
excellent. And the Bowman University basketball, with Victor Wimben, your mama. Um, that's with as successful as Bowman football was with that draft class. This may be that product that starts the momentum back for basketball. I'm not a big college basketball guy. I'm a college sports guy, but basketball needs a little bit of help. Hopefully, um, this
That
new phenom is going to help.
if that's true that he signed his first card, the first card I've signed, that's got to be like that's a one of sorts, right? That's a chaser. That's
Unless he signed all of his first ones like that.
true. I don't think someone showed me an article. I'll have to find it one day.
That's the only one. Holy cow!
I think because it was the first one he'd signed, so he inscribed
Yeah,
that and then signed the rest. So that would be a fun chase.
you have preliminary pricing on that product, Josh.
I do. Hold for a moment. It will be in the ballpark of $220 a box. That's just ballpark.
Okay,
That's
right.
pre-orders on Blowout. Typically, I'm that or less on launch day allocated stuff. So
Interesting that Bowman University football, even with the strong draft class,
was like 150.
was yeah. So that goes to show you the anticipated sort of push that Victor Wembanyama is going to be giving the basketball piece of the hobby. So look out. It'll be interesting to see what those first autos go for initially, and see if we can ride that wave because
And I
basketball.
also need to give the TCG side of the store some love. We actually have a huge Pokemon release. It's this coming Monday. It's the next newest set. We've been doing pre-release this past weekend, and we'll do 2 more pre-release events for this set this weekend. And then on Monday, we sell the product. We're able to do early release sale because we're a tournament store. So I love this. They give tournament stores like us like a 1 week head start for selling this product before the rest of the world gets to sell it. And
Okay.
so we'll be doing some pre-sales for our customers of that product in the next day or two. But yep.
What's the name of this new product?
The Paldea expansion of Scarlet and Violet. So the whole name is Scarlet and Violet Paldea Evolved. So we'll have boosters and all that stuff next week on Monday. And then there's a Yu-Gi-Oh product called Wild Survivors that comes out this Thursday. So
Excellent.
in the TCG world, those are two prime products. I'll sell more Pokemon of that product of this launch than all those other sport releases combined that we just talked about. I'll sell more of the Pokemon of that than all of those combined. So
that's new in the shop. Let's jump behind the counter real quick. And this was not on the show notes, but you brought it up. Jacob, if you could bring up pregame. Josh, when he brings it up, if you want to give that a quick read so that listeners can know what we're talking about.
So I saw this online. The heading is New Panini Scandal. So I don't know, that's going a little far, but it says collector Carl Zhao submitted the redemption for a 1-of-1 Jason Tatum Logo Man card over 4 years ago. So he got a redemption, redeemed it. He's been waiting 4 years. It says while he is still waiting for the redemption to be fulfilled, someone listed that card on eBay.
Oh my goodness.
Panini is not replying to any of Carl's messages, and Carl's account still clearly shows that he is waiting for this exact redemption to be fulfilled. What happened here? Did Panini America employee walk off with this card and sell it on their own? Carl says that if he does not get a response soon, he will be suing Panini over this card. The card sold on eBay last week for $23,000.
All right, put the tinfoil hat on.
Yep, I've got a couple ideas.
What happened here?
Well, they hinted on one, perhaps an employee with sticky fingers. But I mean, the employee has to have a brain in their head to know that if I sell this for the world to see on eBay, probably not smart.
Right.
What I first thought of when I started reading this was that they couldn't fulfill a different card, and some idiot at Panini sent that to another customer as a way to fulfill a redemption, and maybe didn't realize, oops, that's only a one of one. But yeah, that's I mean, that's an easy open and shut case if you ask me.
Yeah, the hits just keep on coming. That's what I'm thinking too. I didn't realize this is what they do. They've got like these cards that are just laying around to fill redemptions that they couldn't get an athlete to sign, or they're maybe a damaged card, and they'll send something else in replacement of it.
Yeah.
And then they did this with a 1-1 Jason Tatum logo. Man, it's just, come on, is it a just somebody that just didn't get enough sleep the night before, or just has zero concept of the value of this? I mean, you've got to think people that are handling these cards have to have some knowledge of the hobby, or do you think that's just somebody that can fog a mirror that's sending these redemptions out?
I mean, I've heard of some of the customers on the phone with some of these people at Panini. Sometimes you wonder if they do really have much of the people that are answering the phone and handling these things maybe don't have as close a pulse on the hobby as they should have. But could be a guy says, hey, you know what? This is my last week. I already turned in my notice. You want me to send you? I got a nice 1-on-1 Tatum. I'll send you instead for your whatever redemption you're waiting on, your Zion redemption that's never coming. But I mean, 23 grand, Panini, that's got to be chump change at this point for them anyway. Their best bet is to pay this dude off and let him ride off into the sunset.
Well, good on whoever sold it. Great timing if they sold it last week.
Yeah.
So a couple lessons there. Time your sales on eBay. And number two, keep chasing those redemptions. Oh my gosh, 4 years.
Oh.
Holy cow. All right. Josh, I don't know. You and I have kicked around the idea or talked about the National. You're still planning on going, correct?
I will be there Wednesday through Saturday for sure, probably leaving Sunday.
Nice.
Tentatively. So, yep, I'm excited.
Jacob, if you could just click through, I think I'll drop the link in the show notes for the National just to have that in the background.
Starting at the next National, not this one, Grand Slam cards of Rock Hill will be set up at the National.
What? Yes. Are we going to have I don't know if you stuttered or not. Did you say we're doing the podcast live from the National?
Hey.
Is that what I heard?
Book your trip. We can. So I will have half of a booth. I'll be splitting half of a booth going forward with someone at the National. So
nice. Very nice.
So I'll be a shopper this time, and I'll be a vendor next time. If we can get you up there, we can do a on the location podcast. It's in Chicago. I get to go to a baseball game.
Oh, that's sweet. Sweet. Yeah. Certain things are going to have to happen for me to make it this year. But that's still a possibility. But if you guys are going to the National, let us know in the comments below if you're going there. And we would love to see, Josh would love to see you. I would love to see you. What was that, Josh?
So I need Jacob to follow me around with a boom mic and a camera the whole time and make me
Whole-
look important.
the whole time. So, what are you doing? I know we talked about this last year, but things have changed. So, still going for the grails, the Brady grails? Are you going as a buyer? Are you going as a collector? What are your goals, and what have you done to prep for it so far?
Yes, and nothing. So I have that Tom Brady manga on my mind. That's my one card I'm going to chase because they say if you can't find it at the National, you ain't going to find it.
Say
So
that.
a manga Tom Brady is on my checklist. And then I really haven't done much more preparation other than just making sure travel arrangements and hotel arrangements are taken care of. But yeah, I'll be a little of both because I'll go as a collector and as a buyer for sure.
It's
Um,
interesting. So,
but I
are
just
you
feel the
like?
pulse of like where people at price wise. Remember last year we talked
Yep.
about everyone was so deep into cards from COVID pricing that was really hard to buy because everyone's like, I know comps say 1,500, but I own it at 2,500. I can't go below two. And so there was a lot of not buying going on because of that. So maybe now things have calmed enough and people are back to you know regular pricing. So if that's the case, it'll be a little easier to buy.
Yeah, I've never been. You went last year. I remember we saw pictures of you with the mantle. It'll be interesting to see what card Heritage or Golden has out there as sort of a thing. Now, um, one of the goals of the shop is also to be. Are we going to be shopping around the soul of the game card at
Oh,
the
yeah,
national?
see, that was on my list too, yes, for sure. Um, yeah, for sure, we're gonna be shopping that card around, try to get some exposure on it,
Hmm.
show it to everybody, find some of the big Jordan, you can tell when you go, you've seen some there's, like, a guy last year that had insane amount of Tom Brady cards, like, the Bowman Chromes, PSA 10s, like,
Wow.
just an entire showcase of just super high-end Brady's. Find a guy like that that's got Jordan stuff, show this card to him, and, get to talking. That's definitely the goal.
Um, so for those of us that are not shop owners, so take your shop owner hat off. Is this the time? A bit of a loaded question, but is this a time to where you're starting to unload stuff that you're not caring about, so to build up a bit of a war chest, or do you hold on to those things and use them as trade bait? I mean,
Yeah, so,
what's the play here?
the friend I went with last year, brought brought a chunk of cards to do that with, and I did not because it was my first national. I really wanted to just get a taste of it and see, but yeah, he was able to turn maybe a bunch of PSA 9 cards into a PSA 10 or two, um, or into different cards that he was chasing, and he had a handful of PSA 9 Josh Allen rookies that were nice, desirable cards, but not super high dollar and not that rare. And he was able to kind of use those as kind of trade in towards what he wanted to get. So that's a great idea. You know, especially with trading, guys are really interested in trading. But if the price is right, you can sell it, to those
Yeah.
dealers as well. So I will probably do a little bit of that this year that I didn't plan on and didn't do any of last year. Um, but I have less of a need to as well because we have the shop and we have the eBay page. So
Mhm.
if we need to move some of that stuff, we move it there. And so I think it would be more for guys like you that have a collection they want to, maybe turn into some other stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I have some things tucked away that I'll learn the hard way on that it's like I go back through it a little every now and again. I'm like, well, these John Morant rookies probably need to be unloaded or else you just hold on for the long haul. So it's a question that people will. I would love to know the super correct answer.
Right.
When do you get off stuff? How long do you hold it? When do you sell it? Is this a card you just hold for 20 years? I think those some of those are hard to answer.
Right.
because you can't
So,
predict COVID boom or
right.
other booms that will come.
Are you driving or are you flying?
We are driving.
So
Um,
would that I bet that impacts what you could do
it
purchase
does.
wise.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons also for bringing stuff back as well.
Ah,
So,
what kind of
yep.
drive is that?
I
It's
think
like
it's
a
12 I think it's 12 hours. I
you
think it's
doing that
roughly.
in one you doing that in one fell swoop?
No, I'm going with two friends. We're going to I think spend the night in Frankfort, Virginia. Is that a place?
Kentucky?
Yeah, that's what I said, Kentucky. I don't know. We're stopping somewhere in the night.
In the United States.
here's here's what I said. I'll provide the vehicle. I'll provide the vehicle and I'll drive. I just want to be
For sniffing out those hidden gems in the market. Josh,
Ooh,
what
that
sort
is
of
a
sneaky strategies?
great question. Let me know when you know the answer to it because I want some sneaky strategies. Here's
So
one. Here's one
go
that
ahead.
I do. I'm
You
careful.
first.
This is on the reverse side. When a new product comes out, and like a customer pulls a really, a numbered 25 Tom Brady base card out of a product, I'm really slow to buy those right out of the because they start selling for 200, then 180, and then 150, and in a couple weeks they're, $80 cards. That's maybe a bad example, but for a number to 25 card, but perhaps. So I'm always careful, like some case hit stuff out of products. I just wait a little bit. So that's reverse. Don't overbuy stuff right when it comes out. Just
Right.
be patient. That's one. Do you have a sneaky strategy?
I do.
Obviously,
So
let eBay alert you. I mean, that's one.
yeah, so eBay, look for this is
Fur.
tough. It takes a little bit of going down the rabbit hole, but people do misspell stuff on listings
Tim Brady. Oh,
all the time. So look for misspelled stuff on auction because they just don't show up anywhere because people are usually spelling it right when they search. So sometimes you'll find an auction item misspelled, and it's like there's like an hour left. This is really underpriced, and it's because no one's found it. So misspelling there, and then if you don't mind pulling up a chair, our buddy Jason has these rows and rows and rows of dollar boxes, and no one in their right mind has the time or the bandwidth or the patience to go through these dollar boxes and find people that have really popped. There are a couple guys on the Heat and a couple guys on the Nuggets that have had great performances, and their rookies are just laying in these dollar boxes waiting to be found. And
yeah.
so,
And in those dollar boxes, look front and back of the card and look for that sacred little one of one
mhm.
in cursive. Sometimes those cards have been hard. Someone bought one of our $10 hot packs one here and was like, "Oh, look at this! It's a one of one." And I was like, "Whoops."
Oh,
We
and I
put
mean, and you're in it. You do this for a living, and you missed it. I mean, imagine a guy that doesn't do this for a living has just breaks a whole bunch of wax and trying to unload these things at a show.
Yeah.
There's no way they're catching everything.
Some of
So,
those one of ones don't look that much different. It's just got the little cursive one of one on the back. So that's a thought. Like you said, you
so
have to pull up a chair and invest some time in that.
yeah, you're gonna trade your time for finding these hidden gems, but they are out there. And then we talk about this all the time, and this is gonna segue into the next question. But there still is opportunity for undergraded cards, especially if you're at a show and you see a PSA 8 and you pick it up and it's well centered, and you're like, I don't see why this got an 8, and you can buy it at raw because eights are trading at about what raws are.
Mm-hmm.
Crack it out of there, man, and take the shot, especially if you've got a good eye for it. So that's all I really have. Anything else on sniffing out these hidden gems, Josh?
No, I mean, image variations and short print stuff. Keep your eye out for that stuff. You don't know how many of those we've missed, and you go back through and you find those. So yeah.
Yep. All right, which leads us to our next question. How do you make the tough decision of whether a card deserves a trip to grading?
Well, we've answered this a lot, even back when we had Aaron from Palmetto on the podcast. Because first question is, should I get this card graded? How does it look? Does it look like you got a shot at a 10? It's corners, edges, surface, and centering. Look at it close. Have a couple. We've talked about, we always grade our own cards the slightest,
Yes.
and then other people can seem to find some more defects in our own cards. Our brain tells us we don't want to see these things, and so we're a little kinder
That's
on our
funny how
own.
that works. Yeah, I don't see any I don't see any flaws until I get it back in the case and it's an 8. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, oh, there's the ding. There's the
Or I'll hand
creep."
it to one of the guys here. Look at this. Do you think it's? I can't find a defect. Well, there's this little thing. That,
And then it's obvious, then you can't unsee it. Um, you know, I think with grading prices and the specials, I think, and by the way, Jacob did a great job. He reminded me that the grading special for PSA ends tomorrow. So if you have any personal submissions, if you have an account with PSA and you haven't gotten cards over to Grand Slam yet, and you want to take advantage of the grading special for modern, ultra modern cards, 22 to 22, 23 cards, um, get that order in. Um, with
it's
grading, I say that with grading prices coming down, I think that's given up a resurgence to the base card, the base rookie. I think there's always going to be a market for the base rookie of a player. There's a ton of them, but there's going to be a market for that. A beginning collector, somebody that is just likes that player but doesn't want to spend what it's going to be for an out of 25 or another rare parallel of that player. So, but if you're going to send base in, just have somebody like Josh look at it, make sure it has a chance for a 10. Because if not, then
yeah. And we tell
you're
the customers
providing
that
money
drop
elsewhere.
cards here for grading. We just tell them, look, it's just a numbers game. You just got to look the prices up. If it's going to cost you $20 to get it graded, then you got to do the math and say, well, I need a 9 or a 10 or else I've lost money. And so then look at the card knowing I need a 9 or a 10 out of this particular card. Now, older vintage cards, you might need a 4 or a 5 or better to not lose money or whatever. But at that point, it's just a math game. And, you might need an 8, 9, or a 10. 8, I break even. 9 or 10, I'm a winner. So that's probably worth a shot, because if
Yeah,
it's looks really good, then, but yeah, if you need a 10 to make money, that's dangerous territory. So
yep,
if a 9 you're gonna lose money, then that's probably a base rookie card.
yep,
And like I said, it's just a numbers game at that point. Just look up the comps and compare them.
absolutely.
Have
And
multiple eyes look at it for sure.
and I've said this: if you've seen me at a card night or seen me at a show, I will always say that every card that I send in mentally, I tell myself I'm going to get a 9. Simply, I mean, you brought it up, Josh. We are biased for our own cards. We miss it because we're trying to convince ourselves it's a 10. I send everything else in thinking that it's going to get a 9, hoping for a 10, and then when it comes back a 7, then I throw
If the
stuff
Bo
at the
Jackson comes back a 6 or a 7, then
absolutely.
you get made fun of.
Speaking of Bo Jacksons, I don't have one, but I'm trying to segue to cards from the vault here.
Ooh,
So
you mean hits from the shop or cards from
no,
the
we're going to do card from the vault here.
Oh, because I think there's a bow in our hits from the shop today too. So stay tuned.
Excellent. Okay. Speaking of Bo Jackson, I know that there's one in hits from the shop, but let's do card from the vault. Josh, you go first.
Okay. So mine is nothing crazy, but this is really cool. Picked it up a few months ago and I hadn't done much with it. It's a 2016 Panini Preferred Super Bowl champs, number to 49. Nothing crazy, but it's got a lot of the goats on it. So we've got
Wow.
Von Miller, Tom Brady, Malcolm Smith, Joe Flacco. John, you're a Joe Flacco fan, aren't you? Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning. So little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8-piece relic there with the goat on it. Number to 49. It's number 22 of 49. Unfortunately, none of these guys are number 22. But I did, if you add up these jerseys and subtract these jerseys, after you add them up, it equals 22. So this is a 1 of 1.
It is a 1 of 1.
Just kidding. But nope. Pick that up for the old Brady collection.
Nice.
Thought it was pretty cool.
Mine is a parallel that you say is like a Grail card for you if it was a break.
Ooh.
It is the
Manga.
Russell Wilson, and this did get a 10.
Did you grade it? Did you have that?
I did grade it.
I didn't know you were a grader. How'd you get the PSA slab on it? Oh, just kidding. That's pretty sweet.
It is sweet. It looks great in hand.
What's that worth now? And then we'll do a end of season. What's it worth if he has a good year? Because I think Sean Payton's going to help him a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what it's worth now. There are a couple listed on eBay. So we'll see. I don't think anything is sold like the raws go in that 300 range. So
nice.
As a 10, we'll see. So that's my card from the vault.
I want to.
But now I want to see some fire coming from the shop here.
Yes, this is again. These are only the hits that we get pictures of. So, Jacob, cue us up, and we'll fire through these. This is out of Leaf Multi-Graphics. Got Ron Harper Jr., Keon Ellis, Kendall Brown. It's got the It's Cobb background, so I think that was PJ Washington Jr., Kennedy Chandler, and Johnny Juzang. This is 6 autographs on one card. So Leaf Multi-Graphics. There you go. Jacob pulled that himself as a customer. Also pulled this. It's pretty sweet. Number to 75, Vince Carter auto. Very nice. We gotta wait for this guy a little bit, but a number to 150, blue little color match Cubby auto. That was pulled yesterday, I believe. And it's like a $40 to $60 card, something like that. So just looked really good with the blue. Heritage released on Wednesday. So a couple on-card autos have been pulled out of that. And I forgot to send, while we're doing that, I didn't send Jacob one of the best ones we had pulled out of that. So move on to the next card, and I will send that. So what do you notice about that card, Michael? What makes that card special? Wrong answer. It has no.
Oh, there's no. It's a missing nameplate.
Yeah, so it's an error variation Nolan Gorman rookie. That's actually a pretty decent little card value wise. Sells like around $200, I believe. 170 to 200. The last couple have sold. So there it is, out of Heritage. We thought that was pretty sweet. An orange refractor of Juan Soto. Customer hit that the other day. A downtown Jameson Williams from a blaster. Believe it or not, I like it. The Motor City. It's got the musical notes. Pretty sweet. Rookie downtown. And then Heroes of Wrestling came out. Each blaster has the same 10-card set and then an autograph in every box. So someone on Saturday hit Bret Hart. I hit Vicky Guerrero, so, that's my luck. But he hit the Bret Hart. He was very pleased. I think that's pretty sweet.
That is cool.
Look at that. It's a little dual 1 of 1. Mitch Richmond, Chris Mullen. Going back old school Warriors. That's out of Leaf Signature Series. You get one card a box. Every card is a 1 of 1. So a customer got that one. I think the next one as well. Dennis Rodman, Horace Grant. So we're going back to the Bulls there. Thought that was pretty sweet. He was very pleased. Oh, Roy Williams, 1 of 1 out of that same product. And you can see the 1 of 1 in the top corner of all of these, but a Kevin Garnett 1 of 1. And these boxes are like $49 a box. Those boxes were. So finally, we had a Bryce Young hit out of Inception University. So congrats to that customer. Out of Monopoly, a customer sent me this picture of what he pulled. Old Chet Holmgren Gold Wave rookie. Topps Finest, little Bobby Witt rookie auto green. Congrats to the customer. And then this was Leaf Vibrance. These have 2 cards per box. We teased you earlier with one of the hits. This is Cal Ripken Jr. Always nice to pull his auto. And then the other one was a numbered to 5. Number to 4 or number to 5, Bo Jackson, The Fire Within. So those 2 cards came out of the same box of Leaf Vibrance. O'Neal Cruz out of Vivid. We've had a lot of sweet cards coming out of Vivid. So
that's a nice product.
Yep. Super nice. Leaf does a great job. Jackson Holiday auto. And Anthony Volpe. I say Volpe, but the Yankees announcers say Volpe. So I'm going to have to go with them.
What do they know?
There it is. So there was plenty of more that I didn't get pictures of, I'm sure, and a lot of product that walks out without getting opened, but those were the hits from the shop.
Fantastic.
Voila.
The only other news before I let you close things out with Crazy Stat of the Week is that we did hammer out a date for not Card Night. We're going to take a little bit of a break from Card Night. We're going to go back to our original format for Trade Night. And Josh knows a little bit about that, the date and the times for the next Trade Night.
It looks as though Trade Night will be June 24th. That's a Saturday night. We're going back to the shop. We've done a little rearranging. We've got more space in the shop. Plus, we've got the spot 2 doors down. So I was thinking we open up both sides. We'll have plenty of room. It'll kind of let us get back to a 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We can do some giveaways and some drawings. This is in no way a reflection of Card Nights, because those have been really successful. And the next one will probably be a Card Night again back over at the gym. But we wanted to go back to do Trade Night at the shop for this one. So June 24th, pencil it in, Saturday night from 6 to 9. We'll give some stuff away and do some drawings and have a good time.
Excellent. Fantastic. All right, Josh, take us out with Crazy Stat of the Week.
And so if Ed was watching, this is pre-recorded, but Ed, this one's for you. I thought you would get a kick out of this. Ed is an Astros fan, and this is a Yordan Alvarez crazy stat. So Babe Ruth, in his first 6 seasons, these are roughly 400 games. He was at 391, but 49 home runs, 224 RBIs, and 981 on base percentage. Barry Bonds' first 3 seasons, roughly 400 games, 65 home runs, 165 RBIs, 814 on base percentage. Trout's first 4 seasons. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So that was Bonds 3 seasons, Babe Ruth 6 seasons, Mike Trout 4 seasons. Again, closer to 500 games, 98 home runs, 307 RBI, and 945 OPS. Yordan has smoked all 3 of those guys, Trout, Bonds, and Babe Ruth. In 411 games, he has 110 home runs, 329 RBIs, and 977 on base percentage. So Yordan, I didn't realize, was on such a tear in his first 5 seasons, but those are insane numbers.
And he sat out one of those seasons.
Right, from injury, right?
Yeah. couple
Yeah.
knee injuries. He is, as they would say, a professional hitter. I mean, no one has been built for a DH spot more than him because he does not bring a lot defensively, but he is a professional hitter. He
Yeah.
can absolutely rake.
Yeah.
So,
That dude stays healthy and plays a long time. Those are going to be some epic numbers.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
home run watch for this year. My boy Pete Alonso is killing it too, by the way. Last I looked, he had 20 home runs, and that was days ago. So
Wow,
he was on pace for 60 pretty easily. I hope he keeps that pace up. And someone
absolutely.
told me this is where we need JP in the live chat. There's only no one outside of the steroid era from the National League has ever hit 60 home runs. And I can't remember who the closest or the next one was. So you had Bond, Sosa, and McGuire all hit more than 60. But if you take steroid era out and those three guys out, no one clean has hit 60 home runs from the National League because Judge did it and Roger Maris did it in the American League.
Yeah, Griffey went 50 plus, didn't he? I think Griffey
Probably.
was in the 50s. George Foster hit 50.
We need
Um,
someone to do a little research, comment on the video. Who has
let
the
us know.
most from the National League outside of Bond, Sosa, and McGuire, outside of steroid era?
I bet Adam Dunn's in there somewhere.
So yeah, probably in the 50s for sure. But if Alonso hit 60 in the National League, it would be unreal.
Nice. Well, guys,
He's still gonna get my bet in the Derby if he goes again this year.
if you haven't already, thanks for making it this far in the episode. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know how we're doing. Josh, always good seeing you. Jacob, thank you for producing, and we will see you guys next time.
See you, boys.